If you're running an airline where you fly people from lots of different destinations into a sort of central hub where they then transfer to long-haul flights, you would realise that any delay to their flights into the hub would cause problems, and you'd have systems in place to deal with that. Well, not so Emirates, it would seem. On the 23rd of February, all flights out of Dubai were delayed by fog. And the plane picking us up from South India was delayed by 2 hours. Emirates, therefore, had 4 hours notice that any passengers on that flight with a transfer time of, say, 2 to 3 hours would need to be fast-tracked through security at Dubai airport so that they could catch their long-haul flights, or they were going to be too late to catch their ongoing flights, and the airline would have systems in place to handle it. It was obvious when we arrived in Dubai that there were, well, over 100 passengers from many incoming flights that had the same problem. So at security in the transfer area there was mayhem. And people were pushing and shoving, jumping the queue, and there was nobody there to control it. There was shouting and bawling and tempers being lost. But eventually we got through security and we rushed to the boarding gate, which was a long way away. When we arrived, we were told we couldn't get on the flight, even though it was still there, because the flight was full. It was obvious our seats had been given to other people. So we had to go back to the transfer desk, which was all the way back, down through security, into the sort of main hub of the airport. When we reached this transfer desk, it was utter chaos. There were at least 100 passengers in a total melee round the desk. There were no demarcation barriers, no orderly queuing, and there was nobody there to keep order. There were no security people there at all. It was a free-for-all. Every man or woman for themselves. There were some women with young babies almost in hysterics. The well-mannered, the frail, the elderly, the nervous were just pushed to one side. Tempers flared and there was people shouting and bawling and swearing, and it was just dreadful, absolutely dreadful. Behind the desk, which had at least 7 computer terminals, there were just 3 young women. They were harangued unmercifully, under tremendous stress, and not surprisingly, one of them eventually broke down and had to leave and go back through a door to compose herself. It was dreadful. Seemingly there were no flights available to London. Not for days. In fact, we were told there was no flights for a month. And every passenger took 20 minutes to deal with. Anyway, after about an hour, 4 blokes in suits appeared and they manned the other desks. So we queued for 6 hours. There was nowhere to sit, no seats anywhere. It was a huge area, but there's no seats. And there were no refreshments at all. So we queued there for these 6 hours, fending off queue jumpers with all kinds of threats. And then we were eventually given a meal voucher and a standby ticket. And we were told to come back several hours later for an update. So, to use this meal voucher, the eating places were on the other side of security. So we had to go through this whole rigmarole again, queuing for security. And then we went and had a meal and we sat there for hours and hours and hours. And we went back down to the desk at I think it was 9 o'clock in the evening. Having been in this place since about, well, before midday. And we were given another meal voucher and a standby ticket for a flight at 4 o'clock the following afternoon. So it was obvious you've got to spend all night in the airport or find accommodation somewhere in Dubai. So we asked the airline employee about accommodation, and the chap simply said that because it was a natural occurrence, namely fog, it had nothing to do with the airline and we just have to fend for ourselves. So they basically just washed their hands of us. So, you know, great PR. And with dozens and dozens of people in the same situation, obviously accommodation was at a premium. So we made our way back down in the lobby and found this Arabian Adventure counter. The Arabian Adventures employees were excellent. And this woman found us affordable accommodation only 6 minutes away at the landmark Grand Hotel. As the shuttle bus didn't go anywhere near it, they arranged a taxi for us as well. Even better, the landmark Grand Hotel paid for the taxi, which I think was superb. And when we got there, they were really, really helpful because we had no luggage with us at all, only hand luggage. And the hotel itself was very, very nice. So, Emirates, having had 4 hours' notice of this impending mayhem, one has to ask, why was there nobody at Dubai Airport to meet all these delayed passengers and either fast-track them through security to catch the flights which were waiting on the tarmac, or, as in my case and other people in my situation, they must have known that we weren't going to make our flight. I mean, that's what computers are for. You know, they have all this information. So why was there nobody there to meet us off the flight? Take us directly to the transfer desk and provide us with a standby ticket and a meal voucher, and hopefully assist us with finding accommodation, even if it was quite simply to refer us to some other agency who could do this for us. It would have saved no end of stress, and it would have saved the sort of valuable reputation, or the valued reputation of the airline. They had 4 hours to do this, but had obviously done nothing about it, nothing at all. And as for the situation at the transfer desk, well, it just begged belief that a reputable airline like Emirates, one, didn't foresee this mayhem, and two, it having arisen, seemingly unable to do anything about it. There's only one word for it, Emirates: shambles. It was a disgrace.